Hello and welcome to DCT Digital Detox. 28 days. 28 days to reset our relationship with the technology in our lives. So, day 26, can you believe it? Today we're going to talk about balance. Now, there's a lot to get through here, and this may be a lot of information, but I think it's appropriate, right? The point of today's day is we're reframing our weakness into our willpower, right? We're reframing it. And we're now looking at technology as more of a complement and not an impediment, not an addiction. That doesn't mean that we're in denial about withdrawal, okay? Because that can be a form of denial. It's incredibly challenging to wean ourselves off screen time. But how can we, given what we did yesterday with our promise, our statement of use that we put in our box, renegotiating, redefining this relationship that we have with technology, how can that work for us? So today we're going to talk about self-mastery and the living of a life that is deliberate, a life on purpose, a life that tangos with the quantum field instead of being swung around by it. So when we master our time, we open up spaces of incredible powered opportunities. Now, I call these OPOs, OPOs. And OPOs are like a divine stock that builds in value, builds dividends during a lifetime. So as we buy it with time, we build with that time that we've bought through a lifetime. Just bear with me on this concept, all right? We're buying, we're investing rather. We're investing in a divinely purposed life, moment by moment by moment, carrying the interest, if you will, on that OPO stock and profit into infinity. All right, because this life is one part of a huge journey that's going to continue beyond this existence. Wouldn't it be great if we could carry over wealth, spiritual, metaphysical, quantum wealth into the next life and invest in that experience? And that's what we're talking about when we talk about OPOs. So as you continue to practice what we have shared here, you're going to notice a compact effect arising. So that's going to be arcs of progress and personal development that eventually erupt into a new personality. That's what's going to happen eventually. All of these things that you're doing, they're going to converge and they're going to make a new you. And people are going to be like, you've changed, you're really different. What are you up to? What are you doing? And what you're doing is self-mastery. That's what you're doing. You're going to stand out. You're going to stand out because you're not programmed and conditioned to be a passive consumer. So you're going to be someone notable in the sphere, in your influence, in your circles, in your society, your family. You're going to stand out. The more that you do this, you have to practice it. You have to keep going until it stops feeling like a habit or a practice and just becomes as natural to you as taking a shower every day, taking a run every day. So what we're doing here is we're buying back time from our screens. We are telling technology, we're renegotiating our relationship with technology in a respectful way. We're not demonizing technology or the people that make that technology. We're simply, like I said, renegotiating our relationship to it as a partner. So The more that we take time back from screens, the more that we can open up to different experiences, new experiences, because simply doing nothing with this time is going to create boredom and a craving to jump back online or do something equally maybe dysfunctional with our time. So, research shows that replacing digital use with holistic activities like walking, journaling, volunteering, taking up a hobby result in improvements in overall well-being and a significant reduction in smartphone craving. Now, the key is finding activities that provide genuine satisfaction. They can't feel like work because you're not going to want to do it. And these will help to regulate our dopamine naturally and fill the time that we'd normally spend scrolling, for example. Because nature abhors a vacuum, and so does our brain. Without an explicit rewiring of our neurological pathways, we are prone to defaulting back into addictive behavior. That's just a fact. So, how can we reset our dopamine? Well, here are some tips. So, I'm going to be throwing a load of ideas at you. Um, whatever lands for you, whatever resonates for you, whatever feels like a great idea, just grab that. All right. You don't have to take all this on. It's purposeful that I'm sharing lots of different ideas with you. Doesn't mean you have to go out tomorrow and do them all. So the first thing that comes to mind is exercise, right? An easy thing to do immediately every day is to take a walk. Physical exercise is one of the most powerful tools for addiction recovery. Remember, we're talking about addiction here. It's serious. Research shows that daily exercise alters the mesolimbic dopamine pathway in the brain, normalizing dopamine signaling that has been changed by chronic compulsive behaviors over years and years of scrolling. A meta-analysis found that physical exercise significantly supports addiction recovery, increasing abstinence rates by about 69%, reducing withdrawal symptoms, lessening anxiety and depression. One of the best things you can do is to combine physical activity, taking a brisk walk, with nature bathing. That's just being out in nature. So being in nature does more than just supplement your exercise with an interesting view or a dose of vitamin D. Not that we're knocking that. The natural world buzzes with harmonic resonance, an elevated frequency that boosts coherence. Nature bathing means full immersion. That's where we go, where we feel, where we smell, where we hear, where we sense, where we see our environment. So it's not just about getting through a destination, but being fully present as we walk or run or jog in a natural environment. So there are other physical activities too. We know that there's swimming, there's yoga, Pilates, cycling, dancing, and gym. So exercise is going to be a really recommended first thing to start putting in your daily diet, just like we did with the first hour of the day. Remember, we nudged that in. We had a morning book or journaling morning papers, pages, and then in the evening, nudging back that last hour, taking that last hour back and lighting a candle and being reflective before we go to sleep. Well, now we're making another little inroad. We're saying, why don't we try, if we're not already doing this, of course, if you're already doing this, great. But if you're not, consider taking a walk and start small. It's better to start small than to start really big and then, pull a hamstring and feel defeated. Other things is that we can create time for hobbies and activities, right? Hands-on, physical hands-on, eye coordination. That's the same kind of neuro circuitry as we use when we're scrolling or if we're gaming. Because we haven't really talked a lot about gaming here. There might be people watching this where they're like, "Well, I don't really doom scroll. I love gaming," and it's the same beast. It's the same problem. Um, Dopamine hits. It's addictive, takes a lot of your time. All right. So switch out doom scrolling with gaming, switch that out and do creative hands-on activities like analog hobbies like painting, knitting, for example, lower cortisol levels, reducing stress. Creative activities provide the satisfaction of making something tangible that lasts in sharp contrast to the ephemeral, can't say that word, The transient nature of digital content. And here are some examples. So we said reading actual books, yes. Journaling, writing, drawing, weaving, sewing, sketching, painting, pottery, singing, listening to music, playing an instrument, photography, woodwork, carpentry, cooking, baking, gardening, growing your own food. Number three, start with a side, start a side hustle or use this time to upskill. All right. So increasingly people are using their spare time to start a side hustle. And, just to be really clear, I guess we are including TV watching. If you have a games night, then I would imagine the TV would be off, right? So having a night during the week where you're not watching a screen, watching TV, have a games night. Um, have that time to sit at your desk, maybe in your study at your home or at the kitchen table and get a piece of paper out and come up with a side hustle, right? Think of something that you really love doing that people will pay you money for. And that's also a great way to boost your income. Using evening or weekends for low investment ideas like freelancing, selling products, or learning skill sets through local apprenticeships, working with a local business, maybe volunteering in the beginning, but learning some new skills are becoming increasingly popular. Over time, these efforts could build financial freedom and a fulfilling venture beyond our day job. You just don't know, you don't know by going into your community. Maybe you volunteer and maybe you pick up some new skills. Maybe you're really good. Suddenly you realize you're really, really good, maybe with seniors. And all of a sudden, like an opportunity opens up. That's just how empowered opportunities work. It's the universe almost fills out the gaps for you. All you do is you say, here I am, use me, right? Show up. Service, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Service. Consider a social or community activity. I mean, our communities are struggling. A lot of the communities are struggling. And I think just showing up and seeing where you could serve, I think would be very rewarding too. Why in-person connection matters. Addictions often isolate. Um, Sometimes I think we go online, even if we're married or we have a family, because we're lonely. We seek, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be in a group. That's human nature. And compulsive screen time can really enhance a feeling of alienation because once the phone goes down, all contact ends, and that can leave you feeling bereft and depressed. So real connection in the real world starts to grow through repeated face-to-face conversations, through eye contact, through body language, through shared goals and activities, and in the making of memories together. I'll give you an example. I joined recently an acting troupe. The troupe puts on shows for some of it goes to charity. It's all volunteers. And when we have a show on, we rehearse two nights a week for sometimes up to 3 hours. And I've never had more laughing out loud fun in all my life. It's a really fun thing. So that's just something that I decided to do with my time during the week. Um, Recommended social hobbies, board games. We've talked about that. Um, Card game nights. I forgot to pull my phone out, so excuse the phone in the background. Card game nights. I play a game with my neighbors called Rummy Cup. So RUMMYKIB, Rummy Cup. Such a fun game. If you haven't discovered it, check it out. Very, very addictive in a good way. Yeah, gather a gang of friends, order some pizza, uh, or join a games night in your community. What this does, it provides us with a regular activity, something to look forward to, right? Something to look forward to during the week. It gives us socialization, which humans need, by the way, to thrive, healthy competition, and healthy fun. Another idea is team sports. So community centers will often host free or low cost events sometimes, sporting events, sometimes other events where we can meet new people in our neighborhood. In rural communities, local village halls or churches often host fun events like bingo nights or fundraisers. These are great places to go and just hang out and meet new people. So I've added some more here to the list. Volunteering, as I've said, classes and workshops. There are so many free webinars, free workshops, free classes, or really low cost classes that are being offered. If you just go to, you know, your town hall notice board or just back of the newspapers, there's just so many ways to find out what people are doing in the local community. Conversation groups, cultural groups. So maybe people that like to go to art shows or live music events, nature societies, bird watching, hiking groups. And then there's faith and meditation communities. Again, plenty of people in the neighborhood. You don't have to go online for this. You can actually go and join a real spiritual, metaphysical, mystical community. So, mastering your time toolkit. This is just a little takeaway. Start small. When we're giving something up, we have to give our body, brain, mind time to settle down and not freak out. So, to start with small changes. I mean, the very fact that you're weaning yourself off screen time is a big deal. So, gently add new things. All right. Don't try to replace, for example, 6 hours of screen time with 6 hours of a new hobby. I think that's setting you up for some sabotage. In the early days of recovery, fill the time you would normally spend on screens with activities that you actually enjoy. Reading, spending time in nature, visiting friends, exercising, baking, or pursuing hobbies that stimulate you and perhaps could lead to a little side hustle, right? Nothing wrong with that. Things you can get excited about as well. And, communities. This is my 3 hobby rule. It's not mine. I read this online, so I'm sharing it with you. It made a lot of sense to me. Pick 3 different types of activities. This is actually really good advice. Make one of them physical, right? To regulate the dopamine and burn energy. Number 2, make one creative to engage your hands and your mind. Number 3, make one social to build connections and accountability. So once you join a club, that's the other thing. Once you commit to something, you're accountable. You have to keep showing up. And that takes grit and that takes discipline. And that is another really good skill to develop. So this combination addresses different needs and provides variety to prevent the ogre of boredom rearing its ugly head. What to expect during the weaning transition, which is what we're in now, by the way. Weeks 1 to 2 is that feeling of the void. You feel bored, you feel restless. Hobbies may feel unrewarding. You may feel resentful. You may not want to do anything. You'll have a strong urge to check your phone or your devices. This is completely normal because your dopamine system is recalibrating. It's not getting its fix anymore. So you're detoxing. Weeks 3 and 4, this is where we're at now. Growing interest. Activities begin to feel more engaging. There's small improvements that become noticeable. Maybe there's some hobby that you've been doing or some relationship that you're nurturing, and you're really beginning to see, or even just journaling, you're beginning to see real consequences to your actions. You're noticing little things like pretty big things like reduced anxiety, perhaps more intimacy with a partner, or more downtime with your children. Maybe you find that your sleep is improving. These are all fantastic things. Weeks 5 to 8, I would push this out to probably about week 12, to be fair. I think things start to become the new normal. Humans, one of our greatest strengths is that we are highly adaptable creatures. So once your mind, your monkey mind gets that you're not giving up, your monkey mind is gonna give up and it's gonna go with the rodeo. It's gonna go along with whatever you're doing. So hobbies become genuinely satisfying. You look forward to being with your community. You're just gonna notice entirely huge pockets of time where you haven't even thought about checking Facebook. And you're going to be like, wow, that's amazing. And you're not going to feel FOMO. You're not going to feel fear of missing out. You're going to feel completely fine with it. Um, you're going to feel calmer, more relaxed, more focused, more grounded. So what lies ahead, if you can stick with this cycle, play it again, keep going, keep playing it, keep implementing the tools that we've shared with you, um, is that your life is going to take on much more purpose. You're going to be more motivated by things in the real world as opposed to things online. They're just not going to have the same hold over you. You may even find that you don't shop the same way, you don't consume the same way. You're going to have a different experience with the connections, with the people, the actual people in your life. You're going to go deeper with everything. And when you go deeper with yourself and you go inline and you have that spiritual connection, nothing is going to touch that. Nothing is going to touch that. And your your fascination, I would say, your fascination with technology will dull. It'll it'll dull. And when you do go online, it's going to be a lot more purposeful, and you're going to have a lot more genuine appreciation for when you do go online. So the science behind why this works. All right, here's some here's some actual facts. Number one, dopamine regulation. Exercise alters mesolimbic dopamine pathways, helping normalize signaling disrupted by compulsive behavior. Two, replacement behavior, creating new habits that occupy the same time and context as the old screen habits work. Three, social connection, face-to-face interactions, forms the bedrock of lasting recovery by replacing alienation, loneliness, and isolation. Four, skill progression, visible improvement provides healthy reward signals to your brain. So you're going to start seeing real, tangible real world improvement. Five, physical grounding, hands-on activities reconnect you to the physical world and to your own body. Six, natural stopping points. Unlike infinite scroll, hobbies have natural endings. You finish a chapter of a book, you've completed your tapestry, and you're going to have something at the end of it that leaves you feeling better for the time that you've invested. So remember, recovery from screen addiction takes time, patience, endurance, discipline, but you're not alone. You are backed by a power that drives the very universe. And when you align to your empowered I am with your innate human nature, you will be happier, more connected, and less likely to be manipulated in an increasingly digitized world. So, time to switch gears. That's a lot of mental information, a lot that I this has to be this has to dip into practicability as well. It has to be a real world um, solution as well as metaphysical and spiritual. So that's why I hit you up with a lot of information there. Go back over the notes because I'm going to probably try to put everything in the notes. Um, and just sit with it all, and whatever appeals to you, um, go with that. Start, start somewhere, anywhere. Just start. Okay. So let's go into DCT, deep coherence technique. So we're going to go inline. So there are 5 steps to deep coherence technique. This practice came to me direct from the quantum field, and I reproduce it faithfully. You can do DCT standing up, laying down, or sitting down as I'm doing now. When I'm not recording DCT, I go outside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a visualization today of deep coherence technique standing up, because I honestly do feel like that is the optimum way to do it. So I want you to stand up. If you are not to stand up, that's perfectly fine as well. But in your mind's eye, close your eyes right now. In your mind's eye, stand up. Stand up on your feet. And if possible, take your shoes and socks off. You want to be able to feel, even if it's cold, you want to be able to feel the ground beneath your feet. It's a sensory connection. Step number 1 is we ground to the earth. So bring your attention and awareness to the soles of your feet. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. Now bring your attention and awareness to the ground beneath your feet. Bring your awareness and your attention to the ground beneath your feet. Notice the difference between the soles of your feet and the ground beneath your feet. That difference is an illusion. There is no separation between your feet and the ground. So we're going to close that gap. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 1. Very good. Now I want you to drop down through the ground, through the root system, all the way down, through the 3rd dimension, through the 2nd dimension, and down, 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 through the 1st dimension, all the way down, till you reach the center of the earth herself, the core, the heart of Gaia. It is warm like the womb waters. You are held, nourished, and known from this place. It is familiar, it is home. Connect to that place through your roots. And now very gently, we are going to pull up that resonance, that vibration, that remembrance up, up, up through the 1st dimension, up, up, up through the 2nd dimension, up, up, up through the 3rd dimension, until it reaches the ground beneath your feet and seeps on up through your feet. Very good. Now I'm going to count from 10 to 0. As I count from 10 to 0, you're going to feel the sensation of the Earth's harmonic resonance rising like a tide of frequency up through your feet, up through your entire body. And when I get to 0, it will crown the top of your head. You will then feel completely relaxed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, you are relaxed. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Notice how the monkey mind is stilled and silenced in the presence of harmonic resonance. Beautiful. You are grounded to the earth. Step number 2, we are going to now activate the light body. What that means is we're going to activate the light codes by breathing 5 times. And as we exhale, we're going to release anything that no longer serves us. This is an act of illumination. Breathe as you are called to breathe, but breathe deeply, breathe mindfully, and breathe with purpose. 5 times. Very good. Step number 2 is complete. Light body has been activated. Step number 3. Now, as you're standing up, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine arm's length all the way around your body. So underneath your feet, top of your head, an oval shaped electromagnetic field. You can see it as a bubble or an egg. In your mind's eye, see it that way. And it can be as big as you want it to be, but it surrounds your body. And what you're going to do is you're going to come out of your monkey mind in your brain, and you're going to bring your awareness to your palms, to the pads of your fingertips, okay, where your fingerprints are. And you're going to use your hands, sensory pads, to feel the energy, to read the energy around your body. Now, because you're standing up, you can move in pretty much any direction. You can swing, you can sway, you can bend over. But try, if you can, to reach arm's length, 360 around your body. And it isn't about speed, it isn't about covering everything. It's about moving where your hands are being drawn to move. And noticing the difference, the subtle difference in the energy, in the thickness maybe of the air around you. It's not empty space, it's sentient. So maybe pay attention to that. Pay attention to any colors that you see in your mind's eye. Pay attention to tingling in your hands, maybe sounds. All of us receive information from our electromagnetic field differently, but your hands are going to be priming this energy field. And that's cohering it. So that's bringing in all of the information that is in your local field and bringing that back in into the body and vice versa. And if you've seen an image of a torus field, Torus, maybe after this you look at that. Looks like a donut, a ring donut. As you move your hands, you're going to be creating that motion, that effect, right? So prime your electromagnetic field. Very good. Step number 3 is complete. Your electromagnetic field has been primed. And now we go into the sacred act. Step number 4. The powered I am that I am that I am. This is the divine in residence. This is what we call the unfolding. Step number 4. Open up very gently. Like you're opening the gates. And in your mind's eye, I want you to see the brilliance of that inner sun. This is the Holy of Holies. This is the Om-powered I am. This is the God in residence within you. Now the 9 call this the unfolding. You can see this as a rainbow. You can see this as the resurrected sun, S-O-N. You can see this as the rising sun, S-U-N. It is who you really are. Now expand those rays of light out, that Shekinah, holy, sentient light, all the way out, all the way out, filling your primed electromagnetic field, filling it with holy light, making this a temple. So the Holy of Holies, and then the temple, a holy vessel, a grail. This is the Holy Grail. This is what we're doing here. We're activating the Holy Grail. And now, because we're fully activated, we're going to go into step number 5, which is where we go into the vortex through the power of 9. So through the crown chakra, because it's safe to do this now. You're grounded, you're illuminated, you're primed, and you're on-powered activated. So nothing can mess with you. So we open up the third eye, crown chakra, pineal gland, to receive the cosmic light from the entire universe. This is galactic light. This is light from source, creator, God, however you want to see it. It's bigger than you. So we let that come down into the heart, and the heart synthesizes that light with the light and the resonance that you've generated, like a pebble hitting a still lake, creating a ripple. And we call that waveform coherence. So see that rippling out in all directions. All the way out. And it reaches the far event horizon of your electromagnetic field, wherever that is for you. And when it goes past that point, you let go, and you let God. Because you keep generating this from here all day long. That everybody who crosses your path is going to be shifted by your resonance today. That's why we say to you, notice what you notice. You're a powerful signaler and a receiver. Quantum field is always listening and speaking to us. It's a bit of a long one today, but it's important that we combine practical information with metaphysical principles to become the new Homo luminous, numinous human beings. May your day be blessed. May you be a blessing on this day. And I will see you again very, very soon.